All right.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody. On the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM WVON. How you doing out there? It's a beautiful day outside. Had a beautiful weekend. A lot to talk about, of course. The world is always moving. Last week, of course, Thursday and Friday, we had our broadcast from the Obama Center, Presidential Center. You guys saw and heard the live broadcast here on WVON, the opening ceremonies on Thursday. And then, of course, on Friday, when the facility was open for the first time to everybody, to the public. What a great scene it was out there. On Friday, I just kind of hung out after the show. I just hung out, walked around the campus for the first time because I'd never walked behind the actual structure to see the museum and the grounds, so to speak, and the work that they've done on the backside of the building. So when you think about what was formerly Hayes Drive that used to shoot right through the park and end up taking you to 67th and Stony Island right there, we know all of that has been closed in. It's all park space right now. And I'd never gone back there. I wanted to see, this my entire life. All I knew was Jackson Park and this street that went straight through. I don't even know, was it Hayes Drive or am I thinking of Washington Park? Well, this street that went straight through from the museum, from Lakeshore Drive, all the way to 67th and Stony Island. That's all I've known all my life. So I walked back there to take a look, and it was such a perfect day on Friday. And people were out from all over the country in such a good mood and for the right reasons, man. This was a historic weekend. This is in a historic place. The Obama Presidential Center, the first time. This is the first Black president of America and the first presidential center in a urban area that we all recognize as being a Black neighborhood. So it's going to bring millions of people to the south side of Chicago, to that intersection. I'm sure the University of Chicago is happy about it. I was looking around. I'm trying to figure out, who are the businesses that are going to benefit from this? Because when you think about the people that are coming there, I'll give you an example. I met some people that were there from, where were they from? I think were they from Georgia, Mississippi? A lot of our people came up here, even without tickets to the exhibits. They just went, man. They just went. They were here. They wanted to be here for this weekend and everything and have the experience that was going to be the unveiling of the Obama Presidential Center. And, I was talking to people, and this one young lady, she was trying to find a restaurant to go to and eat, and she wanted to go to this one spot, but, they were takeout only, and so I recommended some places to her, and then she, I want to be close to downtown. And so I recommended some more places to her close to downtown. It was really just this energy was all good. But it what we have on the south side of Chicago, this is something unique, man. This is almost going to be like the south side's Navy Pier, guys. It really is. This is a destination point for just about everybody that comes to the city of Chicago. They're at least going to drive by. If they don't stop, park, and walk around and try to get in, they're at least going to drive by. Man, this is an amazing moment. And just a lot of energy. Everybody was here. And, of course, WVO, and we were able to give you some coverage there as well. All right, let's take a break. It's 12:17. Everybody's in the house, including you. Annette Flournoy with WVON News until 1 o'clock, and then Logan Page after that. A lot to talk about. ICE is back on the prowl around Chicago and all around the country. Clive Davis, if you don't know who Clive Davis was, he passed away today, a legendary record executive and long career in the music industry, and was responsible for signing some of the biggest acts in music history. Also, you. And what did you like and maybe things you didn't like about this past weekend? Were there any things? I've got some, and I've been debating whether or not I want to say this on the air because I've been talking to my inner circle of friends about this. There was something in President Obama's speech that he omitted, not admitted, omitted, that bothered me a little bit. And I'll tell you about it when we return. 591-1690, you're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Summer is here, the season of sunshine, fireworks, and the freedom to enjoy what matters the most. And at United Fidelity Bank, they believe freedom starts with smart savings. Whether you're grilling with friends, riding bikes with the family, or watching fireworks light up the night, your money should be working just as hard as you do. That's why this summer, you can open up a 6-month certificate of deposit with a 4.15% annual percentage yield. It's a simple, steady way to grow your savings without giving up the freedom of summer fun. At United Fidelity Bank, they don't just focus on numbers, they focus on you, your goals, your questions, and the kind of personal service you won't find at a big box bank. Because at United Fidelity Bank, you get the experience you need and the service you deserve. Stop by their Chicago flagship branch at 1701 West 87th Street to open your 6-month 4.15% APY CD today, or anytime at UnitedFidelity.com. United Fidelity Bank, where your summer of smart savings begins.
Rates subject to change at any time. CDs renew automatically to the standard rate in effect at the time of renewal unless instructed otherwise. Member FDIC.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance. And they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You refuse to put anything before your pride. What I got will me that you love me, yeah.
Come on, Shaka Khan. Is Shaka our artist of the day? If so, then I'm happy about that. Who's not happy about Shaka Khan? She's got so much music to offer from the south side of Chicago. Of course, we're going to celebrate her music. Everybody's got their favorites when it comes to Shaka Khan. Thursday in Chicago, MasterCard is offering a free summit for small businesses. It's tailored to multi-industries, including logistics, tech, restaurants, food service, creative services, and more. Sounds like it's just about everything. Starts at 1 p.m. At 225 West Wacker Drive. And you are invited. My guest is going to tell you all about it. Jay Norris is a tech consultant who helps companies think outside the box. Jay, welcome to WVON. Happy Monday.
Hey, Boca, thanks for having me. How you doing?
Oh, man, doing good. We always need help with expanding our business and getting connected and taking advantage of resources. So tell me about this event. Sounds like something, if you're in business or thinking about being in business, something you need to be attending.
Yeah, Matt, let me tell you. My name is Jay Norris. I'm here in New York, but I'm headed to Chicago. I'm in partnership with MasterCard. Essentially, we recognize that the small businesses out there are hearing a lot of AI noise these days. And all you do is you pick up the news and you open up your phone, you're hearing about AI and how it's taken over. And so I started working with I'm the chairman of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce here. So I started working with a lot of what I call non-technical operators, restaurateurs and retailers, and they were like, Jay,
right,
hey man, it's a lot of noise out here. I don't know how to use these tools, and I don't, and they said it. They kept it real with me, Matt. They said, we don't trust all of this. We don't know it. We don't trust it. It reminds me of the digital era when it came, and a lot of them were slow to adopt the online channel. And I said, look, guys, we got to lean in. You got to start to trust, and you got to find trusted advisors who speak your language and essentially are able to sit down with you, understand some of your pain points in your business and your workflows, and we can start to address some of those pain points and workflows with AI solutions. So when, things that take you 5 to 10 hours a week to do, if you use the right AI tools, it could take you 1 to 2 hours. And they said, okay, let's start doing it. So we started creating these kind of workshops here in the city. And I decided that I have a daunting goal of reaching 1 million small businesses by 2028. And the goal is to actually help them embrace AI, but more importantly, become confident using the tools of AI. So they become confident in being able to use those tools. And that's it's a curve. So that's why we partner with MasterCard to create these kind of workshops, these daily workshops that you mentioned earlier.
Well, I tell you what, you said you're encouraging these small businesses to lean in. And I mean, I think it's getting obvious that if you're either going to lean in or you're going to get left out because AI is here. You know what I'm saying, Jay? I mean, Jay,
man, dude, you're keeping it real. And that reality is, you're 100% right. It's here. And maybe a year ago, we were kind of hearing about it, but it's here. And more importantly, we're all using it for searches, right? Like everybody I know in my network actually doesn't use Google anymore. They go to ChatGPT, Perplex, they go to all the other platforms.
Okay.
And so my thing is, if you're not using AI and your consumers or the patrons you're trying to get to buy your product are using AI, you got to step up. You got to step up, and you got to start utilizing what the consumer behavior patterns are on AI. You need to make sure that you're starting to use tools that mirror what your consumer behavior is.
Well, to Google,
what we like to do.
You know what, Jay? To Google's credit, when you Google something,
Gemini.
Google will give, but also even when you Google something, they'll give you an option. Hey, do you want to do a deeper AI dive? Right?
Yes.
And so they recognize what's happening. They know They know.
Oh yeah, no, and Gemini is their platform. So essentially, that's Gemini. But what a lot of people don't know is this, man. There's something, SEO is something that a lot of people learned that they needed to pay to be at the top of the Google searches. What a lot of people know is what they call GEO. GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. And what that means is, you're a restaurateur. Say you're a restaurateur. You're like, okay, I know where I rank on Google, but where do I rank on ChatGPT? I have no idea. Consumers are actually finding restaurants on ChatGPT, on these other platforms. And you need to know if you own a restaurant or you own a retail location or you own your own law practice or your own HVAC company, whatever it may be, you need to know where it ranks on the AI searches. And that's something that we're going to be talking about at this at the event on Thursday.
When you say rank, are you talking about just in terms of ranking versus your competition?
Yes, ranking against your competition. You want to know, say in the local Chicago area, here's an example, local Chicago area, I'm an HVAC company. I want to know, am I on ChatGPT, am I coming up at number 10 on that list in my area? Or am I number 2 or 3? Because that's where you're going to get the most hits. That's where people are finding you. You have to be found. That's why they find businesses these days, you see? And so I call it the new lane. It's called generative engine. And that's what I mean about actually information is power. A lot of businesses don't even know about this yet, man.
Yeah.
Jay,
hold on, man. I gotta take a break here because I got news at about an hour, but I got a couple more questions for you. Jay Norris is a tech consultant who helps companies think outside the box. And as you heard, he's talking about food services, restaurants, a lot of those businesses that are in our community, right? Are they prepared? Are they leaning in to AI and all the technology that's here to help your business grow? How does your company rank against the competition? What do you need to know, right? What are people saying about your business? Okay, you want to know all of this. People Google their own names to find out what's out there about them, right? Well, your company has that same predicament where you need to know how your company ranks, what they're doing, and are we in the African American community, Black-owned businesses, right? Are we leaning in on technology? Because a lot of our business practices are old school, right? We are a lot of us, not all of us, because there are a lot of black techies out here, a lot of black techies out here that are doing the damn thing. You know that. Are we leaning in the way that we should be leaning in? 591-1690. Jay Norris, hold on. We're going to take a break. Annette Flournoy has news coming up right now.
Turning sunny and 71 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. St. Sabina's Father Michael Pfleger and Urban League CEO Karen Freeman Wilson just wrapped up a news conference with other city and community leaders in support of a new designated gun violence prevention department in Chicago. They say this one will exist regardless of who is on the 5th floor at City Hall.
We have the dollars because we know that nearly half of our budget is spent on community safety. We know that half of the budget is spent in intervention.
This comes after a violent weekend in Chicago where as many as 36 people were shot since Friday, 7 fatally. One incident is considered a mass shooting where 13 people were injured in the Preston Park neighborhood. Now, this drew criticism from President Trump, who on social media, on Truth Media rather, wrote, "Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling for me to help? I could make Chicago a safe city in 1 month." Father Michael Pfleger has this to say.
Shut up, Donald. Just send money and restore the money you took away from gun violence prevention for the city of Chicago and across this country. Give the money back now.
Summer arrived this weekend, and community and faith leaders say more has to be done to ensure a safer city. A busy weekend for the Obamas. Opening weekend at the Obama Presidential Center wrapped up Sunday with plenty of visitors. Distinguished educator Walter Massey, President Emeritus of both the Art Institute of Chicago and Morehouse College, and currently Senior Advisor to the President of the University of Chicago, was among the invited guests and the star-studded dedication ceremony.
When he won the election, everyone was in Grant Park. People were crying. Jesse was crying. And it was just such a great feeling about the country and our future and the possibilities. And I'm hoping this will spur that again.
Of course, WVON was there for both the dedication and the Juneteenth grand opening. Thousands have already visited the campus. Right now, the Obama Presidential Center is the hottest ticket in the world, but sold out. There is good news, though. Additional tickets are expected to be released to the public on July 8th. Well, Chicago has lost yet another iconic shopping mall. Perry Williams has that story.
Last month, a Cook County judge ruled that the shopping center on Chicago's southwest side should go out of business at noon today, but visitors found the doors locked yesterday.
Just crazy to see such a huge building shut down for the final time. I feel like this should be a busier mall. I mean, it doesn't feel like it should be closing down.
The city filed a motion to close the mall because of a defective fire suppression system, as well as health and safety concerns. I'm Perry Williams.
There were only about 16 tenants left, including the mall's last standing anchor store, JCPenney. The sprawling mall at 76 and Cicero opened back in 1965 and was once considered the jewel of the city's southwest side. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. WVON News Time, 1234.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
If it weren't for the Black Panthers, American children wouldn't have free breakfast. Now, I don't know many groups that are only bad that feed children. The Klan only gave us Burning Cross. I guess you could warm your breakfast up on one.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC, member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Well, now that sounds like Earth, Wind, and Fire. All right, we're back. You know, we're celebrating Black Music Month, so we got music all over the place. I just watched the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary yesterday. I encourage all of you guys to watch that documentary. It's absolutely amazing. Jay Norris is my guest. He's a tech consultant who helps companies think outside of the box. He's going to be here this week coming up on Thursday, participating with MasterCard for a free summit for small businesses. It's tailored to multi-industries, including logistics, tech, restaurants, food services, creatives, and more. Even a radio station, I'm sure. You can hear from industry experts on how to monetize your business, harness the latest AI tools, and unlock access to capital. Jay Norris is in the house. And you said the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, I'm the co-chairman of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. I lead the Innovation and Technology Council there. And that's where I really started this journey. Like I said, man, about 2 years ago, Matt, I recognized that a lot of our businesses were being kind of left behind. They just had no idea on how to move forward with AI solutions. And I decided to build a platform called Thought Partner. We leaned on that because I said, let's build something that would be the training wheels for these businesses to start to understand it. Make sure that every business owner out there knows that they are the thought leader of their business and they should use AI as their thought partner. And a lot of people come to me and say, Jay, is AI taking over the world? I said, no, guys, remember, human-led AI is the direction we're going in. You're the thought leader of your business. Use AI as your thought partner. So it's up to you to understand your workflows, your business pain points, and where you need automation and help. Then we can use the right AI tools. And so that's essentially what we'll be talking about on these panels and these discussions. There'll be thought leaders in the room who have actually used it in different verticals: restaurant industry, retail, home services. And so that is really what this is about the business owner coming in, hearing from certain people and starting to share some of their pain points. And so we can start to address how to help them. That's our goal here.
What do you find, though, are the reasons why some businesses, especially small businesses, and look, WVON, this is a Black-owned radio station, so we speak to the business community, the Black business community here in Chicago. What are some of the reasons why they might be reluctant to embrace AI? Is it misinformation, not knowing, thinking it's an expensive investment?
Yes, Matt, all of the above. I would say the top two that I hear mostly is it sounds expensive. It sounds like it's something that I can't get my head around. It took me long enough to understand how to generate revenue with my current business. How do I figure this out? And do I need to hire someone for this? Or is it something that I can just do it myself? Like, there's a lot there. But then, you know what? My team and I recognize exactly what it is. Man, you know it. It's trust. How do I trust that the information I'm given is accurate? It takes us long enough to get to know our accountant, to get to know our lawyers, to get to know everybody else outside of our core business. It takes what I call trust. And that, to me, is what we'd like to cultivate, is more trust and around the country and in the markets, and essentially work from grassroots, not from the top down, from the bottom up, and start to help people start to trust the information that they're receiving is accurate and that they can use to help them. So I think the biggest piece is the trusting the information and trusting the person sharing it.
Well, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on what you're seeing, or what we've seen over the last month with college graduations? And anytime AI is mentioned, these college graduates jeer, or they boo, or even walk out. They have walked out.
Oh man, I've said, listen, and it's interesting because I have a son, and my son is 14, 15. I listen to him and his peers, and they feel the same way. They're like, wow, is this going to take over all the jobs? They're worried about it, and I understand. I would definitely understand from a medium to large enterprise business that have 500 to 5,000 employees. They're the ones that are actually starting to fire a lot of their employees, only because they know that AI can do a lot of the work. Now, if you're a small business, well, I'm really laser focused on reaching out to small businesses. I always tell them, you don't have to fire anyone. But guess what? You don't have to hire either. Meaning if your goal was to get to $1 million a year in business, if your goal was to get to 10 million, your goal was to get to 100 million, the actual business plan that you put in place, I guarantee you that performer said that you needed to hire 10 or 20 or 30 new employees to get to that North Star of that AAR, annual recurring revenue, at the end of the year. With AI, you don't have to spend maybe 20% of the 100% you were going to have to spend on the tools and AI. So that means you can get to that desired outcome or that desired revenue without having to spend exorbitant amounts of money. That's never, ever in our history has that ever been the case.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, look, this pushback on technology is nothing new, though, right? Look, automation. We saw that, in Detroit and in the car industry, where you had machines that were now starting to put cars together and paint cars and stuff like that. There was going to be pushback from the unions on that because, look, automation was taking over jobs. And you're right. I'm sure we saw this with the internet and with the internet technology, and we're going to see it again with AI. And some of it is true, right? Some of it is going to streamline business practices. There's no question about it. And probably trim some of the fat. There's no question about that as well. But at the end of the day, for business owners, you're going to be reaching some goals and making your business leaner and at the end of the day, more profitable, right? That's the goal.
There we go. Minimize costs and maximize returns is what it's all about. And that is another reason why I said this is powerful information to really help support our neighborhoods, our cultures, and our communities if they get the information soon enough and they start to trust it. So that's what we're up against is, I call it the trust curve right now. It's like you knew this, man. Think about when the internet came. You remember how many of our people actually didn't create a website. It took them for years to create a website. And we don't have time like that right now. Don't get left behind, and because it's happening.
Let me ask you this.
In real time.
Let me ask you this, Jay, because what's going on in New York is similar to what's been going on here in Chicago a little bit. We've got mayors, similar mayors with similar political ideology that seems to contrast with the business community in these big cities. These are the two biggest business cities in our country, Chicago and New York, with New York first and Chicago, of course. Where is there a happy medium in there that we're just not seeing? Is there, this democratic socialist mentality, which goes against everything about capitalism, right? And we see this pushback and this pushing going back and forth. Isn't there a soft spot in there where we all get along and agree that this is what's in the best interest of business and a big city like New York or Chicago?
Yes, I agree. And essentially, when we look and we peel back the layers here, there is to me, AI will be the equalizer for all of us, because ultimately we can actually start. Like I said, the small, medium-sized businesses make up 44% of this country's GDP. About $14 trillion annually is what these small businesses generate. And like you said, we've got this pushback from medium and large enterprise businesses that have been running the cities, Chicago and New York. But we've got these buckets of small businesses that need to kind of get together, get more information, get more insight so they can level up. Because let's be clear, all those large businesses, they started with an entrepreneurial mindset. All of them did before they got to that level. So I think that the narrative has to change, and there has to be some political push that says, look, we need to all meet together. So that's the reason why I think MasterCard partnered with us on this, is because, of course, everybody knows MasterCard is a large organization. However, remember what I mentioned earlier, 44% of the GDP is done by small to medium-sized businesses. MasterCard knows it. All the large enterprise businesses know this, what fuels the economy, right? So we have to start pouring into the small businesses. And I think that's really what you're going to start to see this year and next year is that the large enterprise businesses will start to reach across the fence and start supporting these businesses. And the political officials need to be right there in the middle, bridging those two gaps.
Well, the event is Thursday at 1 o'clock, guys. 225 West Wacker Drive this Thursday, June 25th. Jay, how can our listeners find out more if they want to attend?
If they want to find out more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the invite with you, Matt, and if you can put it on maybe on your website.
Sure.
And have people point to that, because the link itself is it's a event, and I'm going to share it with you so that your listeners can do it and sign up. But by tomorrow, the list closes tomorrow. On Tuesday, June 23rd, the list closes at the end of the day. So I'm trying to get we want the right heads in the room that are really curious about learning.
All right. Jay Norris, our brother in Manhattan there, consultant. When I come to Manhattan, he's going to show me all around, take me to all the best restaurants. And,
yeah, I got you, man. I'm a tastemaker first, man. So I'm going to definitely take you to all the right spots. But more importantly, man, I'm coming in town tomorrow. So I'll be in Chicago.
All right, well,
let's hook it up.
Hey, I'll take you to a spot then, brother. How about that?
Yeah, man, please do. And make sure the vibe is right and the music. You said it's music season. So let's get it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jay. All right, Jay. Jay Norris. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's take a quick break here. Phone lines are open at 591-1690. What's on your mind on this Monday? It's the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Never sleep in contact lenses unless your eye care professional specifically recommends it. Doing so can increase your risk of eye infections and other complications that may affect your vision. This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and Vision Salon Eye Care Associates.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
But I believe that we've only just begun. When it's this good, there's no saying no. I want you so I'm ready to go.
All right, we're back at 591-1690, 1252. on this Monday. Phone lines are open. I know the last 2 days, or at least 2 days that ended last week, Thursday and Friday, we were busy at the Obama Center, so a lot of you didn't get an opportunity to call in and express yourself. So I want to get your overall thoughts on everything that you saw over the weekend. Did you get a chance to get out to the Obama Center and celebrate this opening weekend, Juneteenth, and the opening of the Obama Center created a special moment in American history that we're proud to be a part of here at WVON and the city of Chicago. What did you notice about it? Some of the things you like, excuse me, as you get for eating pumpkin seeds live on air. One of them will slide down your throat. Wouldn't that be something if I choked on a pumpkin seed? What happened to that guy, Matt McGill? Well, we lost him. He choked on a pumpkin seed. Really? Yeah, live on air, man. He was about to criticize Israel, and a pumpkin seed went down the wrong, too. Speaking of what is going to happen in the Middle East, we know our friends in the Middle East are still in turmoil there. Iran says this agreement, or whatever it was supposed to be, memorandum of understanding, doesn't even begin to take place until Israel's out of Lebanon. And Israel says it has no plans of being out of Lebanon. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Mr. Donald J. Trump. How you going to deal with that? I don't know. The world is watching. We want some answers. The Strait of Hormuz, when is it going to open up? Iran says, hey, look, you guys know we got drone capability. We can damage any ship that wants to come through. We can put the lock on it, and we're putting the lock on it until Israel is out of Lebanon. So we'll see what happens. Gas prices, I went to the pump yesterday, saw $6 a gallon if you wanted premium, and so regular is not too far below that. So we still got some issues at the gas pump, no question about it. Cost of living, going to the grocery store, prices, how much this is impacting the stock market. This is where your big guys, your billionaires get concerned, because a lot of their wealth is in stock, right? A lot of these super billionaires, they have actual cash, but they have a lot of stock. The majority of their net worth is caught up in companies that they own through the stock market. They buy ownership of companies through the stock market, guys. And that stock, they hold on to it. It doesn't get taxed until they sell it. So many of them hold on to it and don't sell it. They die owning that stock and owning that wealth that they can borrow against and maintain a lifestyle. So the stock market is very, very important to that billionaire class, that 1% class. That's why Trump is dancing around the way he's dancing around, because he's trying to make sure. Let me tell you this, more than anything, Donald Trump is a businessman. And he's influenced. He might be influenced by Israel and BB and whatever bag they're putting in front of him, but Donald Trump is influenced by the relationships that he has with American business and the stock market. Right? There's no question about it. No question about it. And so he's watching from day to day. He's got his eyes closely monitoring everything that's going on. What do you guys think about the speeches? I didn't hear Michelle Obama's speech, but everybody said it was a great speech. I'm sure it is, because she always delivers an amazing speech. I heard most of President Obama's speech. And again, another great orator. His speeches are always well written, well thought out, and seem to hit the moment right on the head. What did you notice? What did you see? What did you like? Did anything bother you about it? Look, you put on an event like this. It's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. A lot of people there. The Chicago representation, I felt, was there. I kind of wish WVON, we could have been in there a little stronger. But, we're on the low end of the totem pole. Network television gets first dibs at everything. This is like being in Africa, in the jungle, right? And the male lion gets first dibs at everything, right? He makes the kill. He makes the kill, and then he eats what he wants to eat, and then he leaves the rest for his family. right? That's basically how it works. Network television, they get to eat whatever they want to eat, and then local television, right? And then social media influencers and all of that, and then radio. that's just the way it is, and black radio at that, right? At the end of the day. Now, but we got in there, and we were able to, be present and have some presence at the same time, and help tell the story of this amazing weekend. Here's what bothered me though, and I hate to be somebody that comes on Monday and talks about something that I just feel like deep down inside, I wish President Obama would mention the role and the impact that Reverend Wright had in his journey. I think it's time. I don't think nobody can punish you now. You're not president. Your name's not going to be on the ballot anymore. The building is up and it's operating. Nothing's going to happen to the building. It's, obviously they're going to have to keep fundraising to keep money coming in. There's no question about that. There's no better fundraiser in the world than Barack and Michelle Obama. But I really feel like it's past due time that Reverend Wright deserves and gets the credit that he deserves, rather, for this journey. I mean, does Barack Obama become president of the United States without Reverend Jeremiah Wright? It's a question I want to put out there. Or without the presence of Harold Washington, the brief time that Barack was here while Harold Washington was mayor. What about those influences on that journey? 591-1690. Your thoughts on that and more coming up in the 1 o'clock hour.
Happy Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Chicago leaders push for gun violence prevention department. Over 30 people shot and 6 killed over the weekend in the city. U.S. approves Iranian oil sales under 60-day license. And Geno Smith facing assault allegations. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are underway in Switzerland, with Vice President J.D. Vance leading negotiations on a plan to end the conflict within 60 days.
We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do.
Key sticking points include Iran's nuclear program and sanctions relief as tensions persist over the disputed status of the Strait of Hormuz. A California mother is suing a school district claiming her 2 black sons endured severe racial harassment without proper intervention. The civil rights lawsuit alleges the children suffered emotional harm, PTSD, and accuses the district of neglecting to provide culturally competent counseling, training for staff, and proper disciplinary measures. And Beyonce is offering fans an intimate look at Jay-Z's transformation, sharing a video of him combing out his signature dreadlocks after 8 years. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Andrea Coleman.
Police are still investigating and no arrests have been made so far after at least 13 people were injured in a drive-by shooting on Chicago's South Side late Friday night. This man says he was on his front porch when he heard the shots ring out.
I was a little scared, but, right, you hear the shots, you just run and duck and hide. So that's all I did.
Responding to the violence, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is black, said his administration is working overtime to get illegal guns off the streets. Friday's shooting was just one of several instances of gun violence across the Windy City over the weekend. In all, authorities say at least 33 people were shot, and of those, 6 died. A new poll shows most Americans are skeptical regarding the Trump administration's memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran. The CBS News YouGov poll found 57% of Americans say the conflict with Iran caused more problems than it solved, compared to 21% of respondents who said the conflict solved more problems than it created. Yet another 21% are saying the conflict neither solved nor created more problems. When appearing on NBC News yesterday, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker also had concerns about the MOU.
I do not support this deal that he made, which was an abject surrender. This is a guy who said he's a great negotiator, But right now, Iran has billions and billions of dollars of benefits. It's almost as if American dollars, American resources are now going to be used to help rebuild Iran while we are continuing to carry the bill for it.
When asked about America's relationship with Israel, Booker, who is black, went hard on calling for new leadership in both countries.
Between Israel and America, we have two criminal presidents. Ours, who's been indicted convicted over 30 times for criminal convictions, and theirs, who's embroiled in his own corruption, his own trials. These are two failed world leaders. And yes, we should be very worried about both of these leaders continuing to upend any kind of viable pathway to peace in the Middle East. These are both failed leaders that I cannot wait until they're off the world stage.
Well, the survey also found that 69% of respondents believe the U.S. has not fulfilled the administration's primary objective of permanently stopping Iran's nuclear program. Black tennis great Serena Williams will return to the court in singles at Wimbledon as a wild card. The 44-year-old dabbled in doubles in 2 grass court tune-up tournaments over the last month and was already slated to play doubles with her sister Venus at the All England Club. Wimbledon starts on June 29th. Williams has 23 Grand Slam singles titles, including 7 at Wimbledon, and she last appeared on a court in singles in 2022. That was for the U.S. Open, where she ended up losing in the 3rd round. This is BIN News this hour. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcast. I'm Andrea Coleman on the Black Information Network, home of Black News First.
Healthy relationships can improve emotional and physical well-being. Community connection and support are part of Wellness 2.
Your health, our community, for WVON.
It's D.L. Hughley.
When you see things like what happened in Virginia, where they had a special election and expanded seats for the Democrats, Republicans have been putting their fingers on the scale of the elections forever. They've always done it. They've always gerrymandered. But now they have gerrymandered everything to the nth degree that they don't have any more room to gerrymander. And now these Democrats have picked up 10 to 12 seats. Even after this is all over, we got to get back to people who are involved in the pedophile ring. We got to get back to ICE brutalizing people. So the war is a distraction, but from some pretty horrible that we got to get back to.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
America's biggest birthday bash happens at Wind Creek. Join us for Light It Up 250, an electrifying night of unforgettable moments. Be here starting at 4 p.m. Saturday, July 4th for a dazzling laser light show, live music, and free lighted gifts. Plus, 250 lucky guests win a share of $60,000. Don't miss this 4th of July celebration at Wind Creek Casino and Hotel. Prizes are issued as either slot, free play, or free bet. Must be 21 years or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
At WVON, we are black and proud and black in pride. Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berlin, Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
Right now, everyone from A to Z.
All right, it is Shaka Khan. How about that? Happy Monday, everybody on the Talk of Chicago. You know, the global news that is out there. And, you know, it's funny, you know, listening to Shaka and celebrating music. Clive Davis, if you don't know who this man was, Clive, here's an interesting topic for us to talk about. And it's funny because I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm almost feeling like, am I responsible for Clive dying today? Because I was thinking yesterday as I know I shouldn't say that. I watched the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary yesterday, guys, on HBO. Questlove from The Roots put together this amazing documentary. You're going to learn a lot about the story, a lot you did not know about Earth, Wind, and Fire. And you know probably the majority of the good side of the story, the rise, but you might even be surprised about how they got there. And so I encourage you, man, if you got HBO Max or whatever it's on, get it, watch that documentary. It is absolutely well worth your time. I watched it yesterday morning, and they mentioned Clive in there. And I've often had this feeling because I've, you know, worked around the music industry for years, and I've always heard Clive this, Clive that, you know, and Clive has always come off to me like this big boss, right? And, you know, I was reading his story earlier today, and it made me think maybe a little differently than what I was thinking yesterday about him. The man went to college, graduated, New York University, NYU, cum laude or summa cum laude or whatever it is, you know, so he's at the top of his class, got a full scholarship to Harvard Law School, graduated from Harvard Law School. So I say that to say, okay, he was hardworking, he was industrious, smart, put a priority on education, you know, got into, you know, he worked at this law firm. There's one law firm he worked for, had CBS record label as a client, and that's how he kind of got into the music industry. And he signed early on. He signed Tony Orlando from Tony Orlando and Dawn as one of his executives. And Tony was responsible for signing like one of his first big acts, right? And so over the years, Janis Joplin, you know, so Clive's career has always been connected to talent, but there's been a lot of black talent, right? And yesterday I was feeling some kind of way about Clive. And then today he passed away. You know, I was like, you know, there are a lot of people in the music industry who built a career off of black culture and black talent. And I was trying to figure out, how am I feeling that way for a reason? Am I just getting too like hardcore about everything, black and white about everything, race about everything? And I always felt like Clive was one of those cats, man, that would say, hey, you know, I discovered Whitney Houston. Hey, I discovered Earth, Wind, and Fire. But he signed Earth, Wind, and Fire to their first contract with Columbia. But, you know, it is Maurice White, though, right? When you think of Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's their talent and his cultural connection to being black and American and all that. And so the executives get the credit, and I get it. That's just the way it is. And Clive deserves the credit. You know, like I said, I felt a little differently about it today than I did yesterday, because I read about how, you know, like I said, this man graduated from college with honors. So from that kind of commitment and hard work to education, you get results, man. You get, so what if some stuff falls into your lap? That is one of the benefits of education and being in these circles. Going to a place like NYU, that's just New York University, right? But graduating at the top of the class, now that distinguishes you. That puts you into a whole different category, and that gets you a full ride scholarship to Harvard. This man got to Harvard's law school, y'all, nonetheless. Do you know the value, whatever the value that was in the 50s when he went there? Compare that to what the value, I mean, I could probably Google that. What is the value of Harvard's law school today. Let's put that in dollars and cents for today, guys. How about that? How much does it cost to go to Harvard Law School? Today's dollars. Let's see if we get anything like that. Let's see. Estimate tuition is $84,400. Health fees, they got all kind of stuff. Health insurance, housing, food, books and supplies, travel, personal expenses. Total about $126,000, $126,650. Yeah. And it normally takes 3 years. So this is probably for 1 year. Think about it. Times 3, that's $380,000. That man got a full ride scholarship. Wow. So maybe, I should think that Clive deserved what he was able to accomplish because he put that kind of focus on his education. And from that kind of focus, you get results. All right, 591-1690. Let's go to phone lines. Randy, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Yes,
Randy. Hey, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing?
Okay, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Good. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not sure what was going on with the phone volume. I appreciate the discussion and everything like that and about the education and stuff. I just want to let you know. I hope that yesterday, you and your family, enjoyed Father's Day. I know you had a wonderful Father's Day event, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to spend time with my
I'm
children.
glad.
It was great.
Yeah, and I'm basically I just want to kind of say that that the whole as far as the stuff the discussion that you had about dealing with education, I think it's important and everything like that. And as far as Clive Davis finding discovering Earth, Wind, and Fire, well, maybe signing well, but I know that Phil Coran here in Chicago, we used to play with the Maurice White and all those who were part of Earth, Wind, and Fire back in the late 60s, early 70s, so here in Chicago. And I think it's important that our people also understand that, the road to Clive, I'm not a real big fan of Clive Davis and stuff, and I know that he didn't really discover Whitney Houston and stuff. That's like Christopher Columbus discovering America. I think that she had talents and skills and anything like that. I think that he just happened to was told about her, provided information to him about her and stuff and about the talent she had and stuff. And I just think that a lot of times the artists like Whitney Houston and Earth, Wind, and Fire, they're taking advantage of these different corporations, businesses, and different management groups and stuff that exploit our people. That's the reason why Brother Kashif wrote a book about the music industry that I have at home, where he talks about that our people need to learn the business side of show, the show business. So we need to learn the business aspect of the entertainment industry. So I just want to say I appreciate that. I also appreciate the stuff, the Juneteenth. I think that more people need to have a better understanding of Juneteenth and what it entails and stuff. And I think it's important that our people also try to be more, supportive in terms of working with different Black organizations and groups, and also support WVON. Because y'all have done so much to keep our community informed about what's going on in the community. So I appreciate you as well as the other hosts of WVON. And so y'all do a tremendous job. Y'all are a tremendous asset to the community, okay?
Randy, I encourage you to watch the documentary on Earth, Wind, and Fire on HBO. It's amazing, brother.
I would definitely do that because I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's one of my favorite groups and stuff. I like their concept and stuff, the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Plus, I'm into the martial arts anyway. So it gets into
the early days of Earth, Wind, and Fire as well. It gets into Maurice White, coming up, moving to Chicago from Memphis. It gets into him playing for Ramsey Lewis and being Ramsey's drummer. And it gets into him leaving Ramsey Lewis, the Ramsey Lewis trio, and starting Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. It really gets into all of the early days. And I'm gonna tell you, at the end of it, when you watch it, it is the epitome of the music industry and what the music industry, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the music industry.
Yeah, I'm definitely, since you suggested it, and I know you have. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of good information and stuff, and you know what you're talking about because I know that you interviewed a number of people from the entertainment industry. So I'll take your word for it. I definitely will check it out
All right.
But also, I think it's important that people also get the books. You can also pick these books up from the books about Kashif from Underground Bookstore, yours Underground Bookstore, 1727 East 87th Street, or Powell's Bookstore right there on 57th Street, going east near Lakeshore Drive in Hyde Park, where they got books about Maurice White and about Earth, Wind, and Fire, as well as go to Hyde Park Records on 53rd, not too far from Blackstone. They got a lot of CDs and albums of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So keep it a good work.
All right, good call, Randy.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
118 on WVON. Let's take a break. Phone lines are wide open at 591-1690. What's on your mind on a Monday? You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. When you play the 7-time Bingo Multiplier Instant Ticket from the Illinois Lottery, you play with purpose. Over $1.2 million has been raised to help support United Negro College Fund education scholarships in Illinois. Purchase one and help raise even more. Be smart. Play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
This month on Mama, I Made It, Samantha Chapman welcomes hip-hop icon Juvenile. From his early days helping define Southern hip-hop to becoming one of rap's most recognizable voices, Juvenile opens up about his journey, his legacy, and the lessons he's learned along the way. Don't miss this candid conversation with the true hip-hop trailblazer. Watch Mama, I Made It streaming now on Vaughn TV, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? The soundtrack of our lives. A Ravinia Black Music Month feature showcasing music that makes us think, love, cry, feel, act, and move. Music that reflects our stories. Can you feel it? The soundtrack of our lives.
Barry White, my first, my last, my everything.
I know there's only one like you. There's no way they could have made two. You're all I'm living for. Your love I'll keep forevermore. You're the first, you're the last, my everything.
Ravinia, celebrating Black Music Month. Experience the transformative power of live music. Get tickets at ravinia.org.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies. That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? More ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better. Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you.
To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org.
Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. I want to spend my life with you. They say, sing, baby, since we've been together. Ooh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue.
All right.
Oh, baby.
Back 591-1690 on a Monday. In Chicago, post-Obama weekend, post-June 19th, your takeaways from the weekend, what you like, what you dislike. Like, I put mine out there. My one thing out there that I thought, number one, I thought everything was great. I mean, it's hard to pull off an event like this and to knock it out of the park. And look, my daughter works over there, so I know all the challenges they had. Well, my only problem, I only have one issue, and this is not even about the Obama Center at all, guys. This is not about the Obama Center at all, guys. This is about the issue. You know, I felt like President Obama told his story about his journey coming to Chicago the summer of '85, and I felt like he skipped around Reverend Wright. I mean, I would have liked him to mention the name of Harold Washington because we know I've heard President Obama say that that Mayor Washington was such a key force in terms of him wanting to be in politics, and Chicago was a destination point because of Harold Washington and the energy that was coming out of Chicago. And lo and behold, he comes here and he meets his wife. He meets Michelle, and the rest is history, right? That's an amazing story, man. We take it from there, and the journey to becoming president of the United States happens, right? It doesn't happen without Reverend Wright, though. That's just the bottom line. It does not happen without Reverend Wright, and that's a reality. And I think, you know, President Obama is still careful. He's still very calculating, you know, about what he says and how he says it. I mean, as he should be. But at the same time, there's nothing left out here. You know, we're looking at life right now. You know, he's done it, man. He doesn't have to apologize to anybody. He doesn't have to hold back for anybody. The reality of that moment in Chicago and what Reverend Wright means to Black Chicago and still means to Black Chicago, and should, I hope. I hope there aren't people out here in Black Chicago that think differently about Reverend Wright than they did before President Obama became president. I'm sure President Obama doesn't want that. There's nothing to think differently about. Reverend Wright has been very consistent about who he is and about his ministry. It's been very consistent. This man is globally recognized and respected and well known. And really, I think is our responsibility as Black people in this city, the city that he lives in, that he comes from, the city that hosts his ministry for so many years. We're the ones that need to recognize the power and the greatness of what Reverend Wright was all about, man, and how many people he inspired. Not just, I mean, there's a reason why they went to that church, brother. You can't tell the story of Barack and Michelle without telling the story of why they went to Trinity in the first place. You go to Trinity in the 80s, in the 90s, you go to that church because of Jeremiah Wright. That's why you go there. That's why you go to any church, right? You go there because of the pastor, the ministry, the person that is delivering the ministry to you in a way that is palatable. to the majority of the people that are sitting there in the congregation. I may have different energy about how I want to deliver my sermon, but I know I have to make it acceptable to the majority of the people that are here in the audience that are part of my church so that they understand it. I got to make sure I'm not talking over them and I'm not talking under them. And Reverend Wright was a master at that. He knew how to hit black people right where they needed to be hit, especially in the 80s, in the 90s, when Black America was going through so much. Man, we had 8 years of Ronald Reagan. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ronald Reagan was Donald Trump from 80 to 88. Just a different version of him. But he was on the same BS. He was on the same BS. Thought the same way about black people. Ronald Reagan was privileged, white, and didn't give a damn about Black America. You needed a Reverend Wright to be at church. You needed to be at Trinity. Are you kidding me? There's a reason why Barack and Michelle went to that church, because the man was delivering. He was speaking to their soul, to the core of who they were as black people in America. And Barack searching for and wanting to receive that message, that ministry. Reverend Wright platformed Brother Obama. No question about it. We can accept that. That's not a negative. If anything, that is a positive. How lucky are you to have been platformed by Reverend Jeremiah Wright in Chicago during that time? Reverend Wright was a titan in this city. It's almost embarrassing that he took the hits that he did while Barack Obama was president and running for president. That is a shame. Now is the time for President Obama to lift that man up and to say thank you. And to say thank you. And man, you know what? Let me say this. I don't know. Maybe he has done it in a private way. And maybe that's all Reverend Wright needs. I don't know. I think I'm going to get Reverend Wright on the show. And we can take it from there. We can ask, because I think we need to elevate the legacy of Reverend Wright right now. You know, we kind of, black people, we can kind of dispose of people as well. And we got to check ourselves on that. We got to check ourselves on that. That's not cool. That's not worthwhile. That's not becoming of success and excellence. Reverend Wright was important to Black Chicago at a very critical time in Black America. 8 years of Reagan, 4 more years of H.W. Bush. We had Republicans running the state of Illinois at that time, Thompson and then Edgar and then Ryan. We had Republicans running the state of Illinois, basically, in Springfield. And Madigan, though, so I can't get too carried away with that. We had 12 years of Republicans being president, and black people were struggling. We had crack. We had this president, Ronald Reagan, and the crack epidemic that was targeting our people on purpose. Drugs, to sell drugs, to arm military force that we wanted to arm so that they could take over government. That's America's all about, taking over other people's government. That's this BS that we're dealing with right now. That's why the Middle East is so screwed up, because we just think we can take over and fund and undermine. That's how Gaddafi got out of office. I'm going to tell you, I hated every minute of seeing Hillary Clinton on that damn podium over the weekend. See, now I'm starting to loosen up, y'all. All right, let me stop. 591-1690. Phone lines are open. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
Hope you're having a marvelous Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your local and national news.
At a press conference today, a group of local leaders called for a new designated gun violence prevention department in Chicago. WVON's Annette Flournoy has more.
St. Sabina's Father Michael Flager and Urban League CEO Karen Freeman Wilson were among the city and community leaders in support of what they call a community-based solution.
We have the dollars because we know that nearly half of our budget is spent on community safety. We know that half of the budget is spent in intervention.
This comes after a violent weekend in Chicago with as many as 36 people shot since Friday, 7 fatally. One incident is considered a mass shooting where 13 people were injured in the Princeton Park neighborhood. This drew criticism from President Trump, who on Truth Social wrote, "Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling me for help? I could make Chicago a safe city in 1 month." Father Flager had this to say.
Shut up, Donald. Just send money and restore the money you took away from gun violence prevention for the city of Chicago and across this country. Give the money back now.
Summer arrived this weekend, and community and faith leaders say more has to be done to ensure a safer city. Annette Flournoy, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
In other news, after 61 years in business, the Ford City Mall is closed. Last month, the Cook County judge ruled that the shopping center on Chicago's southwest side should go out of business at noon today, but visitors found the doors locked yesterday. The city filed a motion to close the mall because of a defective fire suppression system, as well as health and safety concerns. The developer is proposing to buy the land, demolish the mall, and build warehouses. Meanwhile, the community group Southwest Action Network is pushing a petition to get the city to build a park or YMCA to replace the mall. In other news, the U.S. will allow Iran to sell oil under a temporary 60-day license. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the move in a social media post today. Bessent cited productive talks between Tehran and Washington over the weekend. He noted the 60-day general license authorizes the production, delivery, and sale of Iranian oil. The U.S. Navy lifted its blockade of Iran's ports and coastal areas, clearing the way for oil support and super tankers to transit the Strait of Hormuz. And New York Jets quarterback Geno Smith is facing allegations of assault and battery. Cops were called to the athlete's South Florida home on Sunday around 4:40 p.m. local time. A woman posted a video of the incident to social media, claiming Smith attacked her and broke her computer. Smith is a two-time Pro Bowler who was traded to the Jets by the Raiders in March. He also previously played for the team from 2013 to 2016. No official comment yet from the Jets or Smith in response to the claims. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
This Black Music Month, WVON presents the Chicago Catalog, celebrating the artists who gave Chicago its soundtrack. Brought to you by AARP.
Chicago has produced some of the most powerful voices in music history, and few are more iconic than Chaka Khan. Born and raised on Chicago's South Side, Chaka Khan first rose to fame as the lead singer of Rufus before launching a solo career that would earn her the title, the Queen of Funk. With hits like Ain't Nobody, I'm Every Woman, and Through the Fire, her voice became the soundtrack for generations of music lovers. Blending funk, soul, R&B, and pop, Chaka created a style all her own. For more than 5 decades, her music has inspired artists across genres and around the world. From Chicago's South Side to the global stage, Chaka Khan proved that greatness never goes out of style. She gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
The Chicago Catalog, an exclusive Black Music Month series brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
Illinois is at the center of some of the biggest battles shaping America's future: education, immigration, economic opportunity, public safety, healthcare, and the growing tensions between states and Washington, D.C. This Tuesday, June 23rd, Governor J.B. Pritzker joins me live in studio for an exclusive conversation you won't hear anywhere else. We'll talk about the challenges facing Illinois, the future of Chicago, and what's next for working families across our state. Tuesday, June 23rd, live on WVON 1690 AM and streaming worldwide. Don't miss it. The Morning Show with Rufus Williams, where Chicago comes to talk.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m. Host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance. And they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, we're back at 591-1690. Look, if you're going to the Obama Presidential Center, don't get stuck in traffic, guys. Get on Metro. It has a stop right there, 59th Street, right at the University of Chicago there. I mean, it is about as convenient, especially if you're coming from the south suburbs, even if you're coming from downtown. Take Metro, man. It drops you off right there. And you've got about a 5-minute walk to the Obama Center with Metra's reliable service, affordable fares, and convenient ticketing through the Ventra app. Getting there is simple, plus kids 11 and under ride free. What? Make your trip part of the experience. Let Metra move you to the Obama Presidential Center. Spend less time driving and more time exploring. 591-1690 is the number to call. So I kind of Googled or did whatever I did here to find out what were the issues surrounding President Obama and Jeremiah Wright, and said Obama had been there for 20 years at Trinity. Reverend Wright officiated his wedding, baptized his children, spiritual mentor. The controversy was around some sermons of Reverend Wright's where he suggested that U.S. foreign policy contributed to the September 11 attacks, which is easy for anybody to see. U.S. foreign policy, of course they did. I mean, that is, why would anybody even, you think whoever attacked, and look, there are a lot of people that believe that Israel is behind the September 11th attacks. There's still controversy about the Israelis having the information about the bombings before September 11th. There's still this controversy of these 5 Israelis, members of the IDF, that were seeing dancing and jubilation right there in New York City while the buildings were exploding and imploding, that these Israeli soldiers were dancing. The police brought them in, identified them all as members of the IDF, I believe. Let them go because they didn't have any evidence against them. So he's right about that. There's a lot of controversy about September 11th, guys. What the hell? He said, "Goddamn America," while criticizing racism and injustice in the United States. Well, I'm sure just about every black person in America has said that. That's what it means to be black in America, is to say that. Aren't you? Haven't you said it as a black person? Made statements that many Americans views as anti-American, racially divisive, or conspiratorial. That's all BS. Obama had attended Wright's church for years. Opponents questioned whether Obama shared those views. And, of course, this was going to derail his presidential campaign. Black America, we were all in for Obama. I was, too, as we should have been. He gave his More Perfect Union speech. I think that's the speech in Philadelphia. Then they're saying the controversy reignited when Wright made several high-profile media appearances in April of 2008. And Obama was outraged, saddened, and soon left Trinity United Church of Christ. Supporters of Wright argued that some sermon clips were taken out of context. Of course they were. Just ask Mr. Farrakhan about that. And they reflected a tradition of prophetic criticism common in some black churches. Correct. Critics argued that the remarks themselves were unacceptable regardless of context. That's bullcrap. You can't tell black people what's unacceptable in our churches where we go and worship. Who critiques my ass? The debate became a national discussion about race, patriotism, religion, and political accountability, which is great. That's what we are supposed to have, those conversations. That's what makes America America, right? That's what makes this country great. That we have provocative conversations about race, politics, patriotism, religion. One historic note, Obama's speech on right is still widely regarded as one of the best speeches. Yes, it was. So I said, what are the comments or controversial comments that Reverend Wright made? Listen to this. Some of the comments that drew the most attention included Wright defended his earlier sermon in which he said, "Goddamn America," arguing that he was condemning policies and the actions of the government and not the American people, which is absolutely correct. The policies of this country are open to criticism, and a lot of people around the world will say, "Goddamn America." He reiterated his view that U.S. foreign policy had contributed to hostility toward the United States abroad, including the conditions that led to September 11th. That is absolutely true. Why is that even controversial? You think September 11th just happened because some people, whoever they were, like I said, man, it could, we blamed Osama bin Laden, and some people now are blaming Bibi for September 11th and Israel. And I don't know, but there's a lot of questions to be answered that don't make sense, and especially the attack on the Pentagon that people say still requires a sophisticated piloting in order for that plane to do what it did. At a national press conference appearance, Wright said that attacks on him were attacks on the black church tradition, and he argued that many critics did not understand the historical context of prophetic preaching in black churches. Another true statement. Nothing about this that is coming from Reverend Wright is false. Everything that he is saying is absolutely correct. See, white America just wants black America to be white America. See, the black church is where black America always drew a dividing line, whether it was on criticism of how could black America celebrate this country and black churches when this country was responsible for slavery and what was happening during Jim Crow? Of course not. He repeated claims, talking about Reverend Wright, U.S. government had treated black Americans unjustly. True. What is false about any of this? And discussed allegations concerning government actions toward African Americans that many critics viewed as conspiratorial or unsupported. Yeah, see, this is where when you start, number one, there has been conspiracies against black America. We know this. You know this. Crack cocaine. Is that a conspiracy or not? A government-funded drug program to sell drugs to black America and use the profits to buy arms? Give me a break. The more I read this, man, the more pissed off I'm getting. Wright also remarked that politicians often say what they need to say to get elected. Again, true. What the hell? Which some interpreted as a suggestion that Obama was distancing himself from Wright for political reasons. Again, that's true. We all saw it when it happened. I mean, Barack had to, right? Didn't he? At that time, if he wanted to get elected, he had to distance himself because America was doing what America does. See, a black politician can't even mention the name Minister Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, or he won't get elected. So Minister Farrakhan is the third rail for black politicians. The issue was not just the content. Now, this is real interesting, this sentence here. The issue was not just the content of individual remarks the issue was not the content of individual remarks. So this sentence is almost saying, hey, everything that he said was true, but here's the problem. Now listen to this full sentence. I'm going to say it in its entirety. The issue was not just the content of individual remarks, but Wright's tone during televised appearances. Also, because black people, we got to have a certain tone. We got to have a certain tone. No, his tone was his tone. His tone was his tone. He was being very tonefully correct about the history of America and how it's treated black. There's no nice tone to describing the history of America and Black America. What tone is appropriate, I wonder? Many political observers believe that his public defensive comments made it more difficult for Obama to move past. I mean, I agree with that. Barack had to do what he had to do. There's more. I'll tell you when we return. It's 1:49 on the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Sharpton. Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
It's Rufus Williams.
Mayor Brandon Johnson. I'm going to upset you right now, and I'm looking forward to a Cubs World Series.
That upsets Titus. Doesn't bother me, not at all. I'm from that space. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mayor.
Sorry, brother.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
For me, give it where you ought to be. I just want to satisfy, though you're not mine, I can't deny. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Love me now, I'll go crazy. Oh, oh, sweet thing. Oh, you know, yeah.
All right, we're back. I played this song over and over and over and over. I'm not kidding you, man. I had the 45. Played this song 1,000 times. Back to back, y'all. When I was a kid. What year? What year did this come out? Hold on. I'm about to look it up right now. What year did Sweet, is it Sweet Thing or Sweet Thing by Shaka come out. I know Google is like, dude, what's going on with you, man? It's like you asked me all these things about Obama and Reverend Wright, and now you're asking me about Sweet Thing. I know my Google or Chat GPT thinks I'm crazy. Like, Negro, man, you went hardcore race on me, and now you're like, hey, what year did Sweet Thing come out? Sweet Thing by Shaka Khan was originally released in late 1975 by the group Rufus featuring Shaka Khan. Oh man, they're showing the single too. And that is, what was it, on ABC Records? Let's see, what is it? ABC Records, y'all. Wow. Song became a major hit in the early 1976, reaching #1 on the R&B chart. Yep. Yep. Shaka co-wrote it with guitarist Tony Maiden. It's considered one of Shaka's signature songs. It was covered by Mary J. Blige. Shaka didn't like the cover, though, she said in several interviews. Shaka being Shaka was like, she ain't do nothing with it. She's just saying what I sang. I was like, damn, Shaka, be nice. Sweet Thing is regarded as one of the best R&B ballads of the 1970s. Ain't no question about it. Shaka Khan, everybody. Yeah, all right. I'll take some phone calls because I feel like, I'll dig into this. Reverend Wright's my man, though, man. I can't, and there's nothing that can take that away. And I had no problem with Reverend Wright expressing himself and defending himself, because all of the ammunition of white America and Republican conservatives and hate groups and the Ku Klux Klan and everything else out there, the forces of anti-Semitism, whatever it is, you name it, they were coming at this brother, our brother from the South Side of Chicago. And brother was like, I am going to defend myself. And you know what, it was really an interesting moment because Black Americans, and particularly here in Chicago, we wanted a Black president so bad that we kind of latched on to the Obamas pulling away from Reverend Wright. And that's why Reverend Wright's statement, he was giving Barack, and I don't even know if Barack received this the way that he could have, and maybe he did, but he gave Barack that pass by saying, he was asked the question, are you hurt by the Senator Obama pulling away from him? He says he's doing he's a politician. This is what politicians do. Absolutely spot on correct. He was saying, don't blame him for doing what you do to survive in the jungle of politics. Reverend Wright, in his kindness, was giving President Obama a pass. And I just think that kindness should be returned, right? Many of us here in Chicago all of a sudden probably turned our back on this man who committed his entire ministry and built a church on 95th Street about Black power. You're right, Zaviola. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Wanted a Black president, and I get it so bad. We did not have to turn our backs on Reverend Jeremiah Wright. This man's ministry was all about who we are as Black people and building us up. Some of us turned our backs on that man. We should be embarrassed by it. To this day, you should be embarrassed by it. When you see Reverend Wright out in public, this man is in a wheelchair, you need to go up to him and say, thank you, brother. Thank you. You ain't got to say nothing else. Just say thank you. I got you. I understood. I know who you are. I know what you were doing every Sunday, preaching about Black power, telling the truth about this country. You ain't got to say nothing else to him. You see Reverend Wright, you say, thank you, brother. Thank you for teaching us. He said, we can do a sermon called God Damn Black Chicago. Whoever turned their back on this man. Thank you, brother. 591-1690. Jacqueline, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Absolutely wonderful.
Great. Quickly, you cannot be any more matter than the members of Trinity United Church of Christ. I have been a member since 89, attended since 86. So I'm going to tell you what I believe why President Obama can never, ever, in public or in private, apologize or rescind any of those statements, because he and the
Hold on. I think this is good. But I think I want you to do it on the other side of the hour here, because
okay then. Hold on.
And so you started at Trinity when?
86.
Okay. And then you stopped going when?
Never.
Oh,
Never.
okay.
Never. Never. Current member. Always has been. Since 86.
And so I'm assuming you would would agree with me in the way I'm describing what Reverend Wright built over there.
Of course, because when I walked up, when I was looking for another church and I saw Free South Africa, I said, whatever they're doing up in here,
okay,
I'm going to be a part of it. Reverend Wright was just the icing on the cake.
Okay. See, this man, here's my point, and I want you to tell your story when we come back, right?
Okay.
It just dawned on me while I was out there, and I heard President Obama's speech, and he talked about him and Michelle's wedding reception at South Shore Country Club, their cultural center.
Mm-hmm.
It just dawned on me that he didn't, and I get it, man. This is what I'm saying is not a look, I'm a Barack Obama fan. So even if it is a little bit of a criticism, it is what it is. It's just part of me that just wanted to be like, brother, talk about the church that you got married in.
He cannot.
Talk about and I can't wait to hear.
Okay.
You explain to us why he cannot. Jacqueline, put her on hold. 2 o'clock's coming up next, y'all. It's the Matt McGill Show.
I agree, Matt. Happy Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Race against hate in Evanston draws thousands. Mississippi near bottom for birth costs. Music industry legend Clive Davis dies at 94. And House announces bipartisan agreement on Kids Act. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are underway in Switzerland, with Vice President J.D. Vance leading negotiations on a plan to end the conflict within 60 days.
We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do.
Key sticking points include Iran's nuclear program and sanctions relief as tensions persist over the disputed status of the Strait of Hormuz. A California mother is suing a school district claiming her 2 black sons endured severe racial harassment without proper intervention. The civil rights lawsuit alleges the children suffered emotional harm, PTSD, and accuses the district of neglecting to provide culturally competent counseling, training for staff, and proper disciplinary measures. And Beyonce is offering fans an intimate look at Jay-Z's transformation, sharing a video of him combing out his signature dreadlocks after 8 years. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Andrea Coleman.
Police are still investigating and no arrests have been made so far after at least 13 people were injured in a drive-by shooting on Chicago's South Side late Friday night. This man says he was on his front porch when he heard the shots ring out.
I was a little scared, but, while you hear the shots, you just run and duck and hide. So that's all I did.
Responding to the violence, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is black, said his administration is working overtime to get illegal guns off the streets. Friday's shooting was just one of several instances of gun violence across the Windy City over the weekend. In all, authorities say at least 33 people were shot, and of those, 6 died. A new poll shows most Americans are skeptical regarding the Trump administration's memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran. The CBS News YouGov poll found 57% of Americans say the conflict with Iran caused more problems than it solved, compared to 21% of respondents who said the conflict solved more problems than it created. Yet another 21% are saying the conflict neither solved nor created more problems. When appearing on NBC News yesterday, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker also had concerns about the MOU.
I do not support this deal that he made, which was an abject surrender. This is a guy who said he's a great negotiator. But right now, Iran has billions and billions of dollars of benefits. It's almost as if American dollars, American resources are now going to be used to help rebuild Iran while we are continuing to carry the bill for it.
When asked about America's relationship with Israel, Booker, who is black, went hard on calling for new leadership in both countries.
Between Israel and America, we have 2 criminal presidents. Ours, who's been indicted, convicted over 30 times for criminal convictions, and theirs, who's embroiled in his own corruption, his own trials. These are 2 failed world leaders. And yes, we should be very worried about both of these leaders continuing to upend any kind of viable pathway to peace in the Middle East. These are both failed leaders that I cannot wait until they're off the world stage.
The survey also found that 69% of respondents believe the U.S. has not fulfilled the administration's primary objective of permanently stopping Iran's nuclear program. Black tennis great Serena Williams will return to the court in singles at Wimbledon as a wild card. The 44-year-old dabbled in doubles in 2 grass court tune-up tournaments over the last month and was already slated to play doubles with her sister Venus at the All England Club. Wimbledon starts on June 29th. Williams has 23 Grand Slam singles titles, including 7 at Wimbledon, and she last appeared on a court in singles in 2022. That was for the U.S. Open, where she ended up losing in the 3rd round. This is BIN News this hour. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcast. I'm Andrea Coleman on the Black Information Network, home of Black News First.
Chicago officially has the worst traffic in the country. Get out of gridlock with Metra. With our 95% on-time rate, we eliminate the stress of driving and get you where you're going quickly, comfortably, and safely. Metra. Drive less, do more.
It's DL Hughley.
When you see things like what happened in Virginia, where they had a special election and expanded seats for the Democrats, Republicans have been putting their fingers on the scale of the elections forever. They've always done it. They always gerrymandered. But now they have gerrymandered everything to the nth degree that they don't have any more room to gerrymander. And now these Democrats have picked up 10 to 12 seats. Even after this is all over, we got to get back to people who are involved in the pedophile ring. We got to get back to ICE brutalizing people. So the war is a distraction, but from some pretty horrible that we got to get back to.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
In June, we are united in pride. We are WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
The sun set. Come on. Oh, Shaka. This is another one. I played this over and over and over again. I mean, over and over and over again. Woo! Oh, man. This song, it builds up too. Shaka just keeps taking it up to another level, right? That first verse, she's kind of mellow. And in this verse, she's still kind of mellow, right? Come on. Breezes. Come on. Woo. All right, I got to cut it or else they'll cut us off of Facebook. Oh, man. That last verse, when she goes up high, I'm about to download that song. Thank you for playing that. I got to get that. I got some Shaka songs in my playlist. Because that last verse, when she comes in each time, you pass me by, she takes it up high like Shaka Khan, the one and only. 591-1690. You know, talking about guys, and I hate to be this guy, but then I enjoy being this guy on radio as well, right? We had just an amazing rollout of the Obama Presidential Center, and this is nothing against that. It was absolutely amazing. Hats off to the staff and the leadership over there and everything they did to pull this off. I am a huge Obama fan, huge Michelle Obama fan, huge fan of the team over there that supported President Obama over the years and brought this amazing institution to the south side of Chicago. So I just want to be clear on that. But I'm a huge Reverend Wright fan. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you being torn about this because black people were being pulled in two different directions, right? See, a lot of black America wasn't even on the Obama bandwagon in 2008. A lot of black America, you guys don't remember this. See, I was on the air, so I do. A lot of black America was on Hillary Clinton's bandwagon in 2008. Okay? So let's quit playing now. Because there was a lot of you Johnny-come-latelys coming and jumped on the Obama bandwagon once he won Iowa. So let's keep it real now. When Barack Obama announced he was running for president, black America was still swinging on the Clintons' nuts. You know it and I know it. And we're lining up behind. And a lot of black media personalities, activists, leaders were all in for Hillary. Hillary was trying to touch her black people around. Hey, y'all remember Bill? Bill was first black president now, wasn't he? Everybody was feeling that. So Hillary was going to run. We were tired of George W. Bush. We were ready for something new. And it looked like we wanted history. We wanted the first woman president of the United States. And of course, it was going to be Hillary Clinton. And a lot of you black folks were on the Hillary Clinton bandwagon. And I remember me and Perry, we were doing the show at the time, doing the morning show. We were just kind of observing Barack. We were like, what do you think about Obama? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he won Iowa, and he started getting some black folks' attention. All right. And still people didn't take him seriously. And Hillary started doing her little stuff she does, crying. Let me tell you, man, I'm not going to say I hated seeing Hillary on the podium on Thursday. I didn't like it. Bottom line, Hillary Clinton, her policies brought down Muammar Gaddafi. And as a black person living in America, I am absolutely pissed off about that. and that she had to do it under this black president, and that we manufactured a controversy called the Arab Spring. United States was behind that bull crap to do exactly this: take down leaders in the Middle East. Know your country. What did Reverend Wright say? God damn who? Said it for a reason. That man's smarter than anybody in Washington, D.C. So we're talking. I have to. Let's bring Jacqueline back on, who's a member of Trinity. My problem is I wish that President Obama would give credit to that brother and make it known that I would not be president of the United States if it wasn't for this black man on the south side of Chicago and this church, Trinity United. It would not be possible for me to be president of the United States. This was my journey as a black man. It happened 20 years in that church. You don't walk away from that. Right now, can't nobody hurt Barack Obama. You already been president. Your name's not going to be on the ballot anymore. This man's in a wheelchair, and he deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves an apology. He deserves an apology. Because white American, white media, white American, Jacqueline, don't worry. I'm going to call you when it's your time, sister. Don't worry. You on the air. Don't worry. You ain't going nowhere. This man, white America and white media made black people back away from Reverend Wright. And that's bull crap. All right. Now, Angela says, Jacqueline says that Obama can never mention Reverend Wright's name. Why is that?
Because they're waiting, the white folks are waiting for the I got you moment. From the speech, if he apologizes to Dr. Wright, that means that they would say, see, I told you he was a radical left. He doesn't like America. They will have a litany of lists of saying, I told you he wasn't who he said he was. And they are going to be scrutinized. He and the First Lady are going to be scrutinized until they make their transition. That's just America.
See, I hope, I hear you, but I hope that Barack and Michelle are stronger than that to let that be an issue. I hear you.
No.
I hear you.
Wait. Remember now, they are still political people in the party, and the party is always going to come first.
I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that.
And you're not alone on that.
Being black should come first.
Hey, if that's the case, then they wouldn't have walked away. Matt, come on. But can I say one other thing who I'm really angry with? At Reverend Jackson's homegoing service, Reverend Wright was second row in the aisle, and none of those jokers, and I'm talking about the Meeks and the Jenkins, recognized Reverend Wright. What was wrong with that? They were calling the roll on everyone else that was there. What was wrong with that?
I hear you, and that's a problem too. That's a problem too.
Right, and you're right. You should honor Reverend Dr. Wright every chance we get. Every chance we get, because he was part of the South Side. It still is the South Side legacy. Thank you for taking my call, Matt.
No, good call, Jacqueline. I hear you, man. I just hope the Obamas are stronger than that. And I would, if I was the Obamas, I would care less than a F about some people being able to say, see there, I told you. I would at this point of the game, there's nothing anybody can convince America about who we know who the Obamas are. There's not a conspiracy theorist or a media effort that can change who the Obamas are to America. And I hope the Obamas aren't worried about that, because at this stage of their lives, I would hope. I mean, I can't tell them they are who they are, and they have had an amazing life, and I love them both. This is not a criticism of, but at this stage of their life, can nobody define or redefine who they are to America. Can nobody touch them. The Obamas are who they are, man, and America, we love them for that. And if Barack Obama wanted to say, you know what, I want to thank Reverend Wright for what he did do for me for those 20 years I was a member of his church. I would say screw any and everybody who would come out and criticize you for that. In fact, I would write a speech for Barack. and it would be real simple. I want to thank Reverend Wright for helping making me the man who I was for 20 years while I sat in the front row of his church and learned about who I am as a black man. Thank you, Reverend Wright. Thank you. And F anybody who has a problem with that. End of speech. Drop the mic. I'm black and I'm proud. 591-1690, Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Your eyes work hard every day. Protect them by wearing sunglasses that block 100% of UVA and UVB rays, even on cloudy days. Long-term sun exposure can increase your risk of cataracts and other eye conditions. This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and Vision Salon Eye Care Associates.
Yo, fellas, when was the last time you checked in with you? We're bringing the barbershop talk to the airwaves. It's time to get real about our wellness, identity, and what it means to feel good from the inside out. The Groomer Room is back, a no-fluff radio series made for the fellas, by the fellas. We're talking health, hustle, healing, and everything in between. No filters, no judgment. Real conversations that hit home, whether you're grinding, growing, or just trying to figure it all out. This space is for you. Listen weekly on Thursdays from June 4th to June 26th. It will be hosted by Matt McGill, Atiba Buchanan, and Rufus Williams. Only on the station that brings you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON, the Groomer Room, where the real ones pull up.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
And on the live line is Cardinal Blaze Joseph Supich. Thank you so much for joining the Cleopatra Show.
Well, thank you, Cleopatra. Thanks for having me.
Yusuf Jackson is officially serving as the CEO, and he is here to join the Cleopatra Show. How are you, Yusuf?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
And on the live line is the Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League, as promised. President Morial, how are you?
Thank you for having me, and great to be with you.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Joe's Landscaping. This is Joe.
I'd like an estimate to install a sprinkler system in the forest.
Okay, your property's on forest land?
Oh, no. It is the forest.
I don't follow.
Well, I'm calling around for estimates to install sprinklers throughout our forests.
What?
Let me explain. We're a grassroots group looking for funding to combat people's recklessness with fire in the forest. We can't get funding if we don't have an estimate, so,
Are you serious?
Yeah. We're calling it the National Sprinkler System. Isn't that great?
You want to know how much a sprinkler system would run you for the forest?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't even make sense, sir.
Oh, no. Oh, you know what? You're right. Maybe we should just map out Olympic National Forest first.
Is this a joke?
No. Imagine being able to flip a switch and put a fire out.
Flip a switch. You know how much land you're talking about?
I know it seems big, Joe.
It seems big.
Well, they built that pipeline thing. That's pretty big.
No. I'm sorry. I can't help.
Wait, Joe.
Only you can prevent wildfires. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, the Ad Council, and this station.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
He's on his way, he's going to Hollywood, he's busting into Hollywood. Show him the ways, moving to Hollywood, he's hopping into Hollywood. He's waited at bus stops all his life. He's been in and out of those spaces, seeing eyes that spoke to him from sad and empty places. Sad and empty places.
All right, here we are. What time is it? It's 2:22. We got more than a half hour left in this show, y'all. I feel like I'm getting mad up here, man. I'm trying not to get mad. We got a lot to talk about. I feel like I should get off of this topic because I'm only getting more and more upset. and I don't know that it's going to get any better because it's really one of these stories that will piss you off. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Angel, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
How you doing, Matt?
Doing good, bro.
As far as the shoot, can I talk about the shootings in the city this weekend? 37 shot, 8 dead. What's going to happen July 4th? I'd like to know, because it's going to be destructive July 4th weekend, which is on a Saturday. And also, I'd like to say, why don't they accept the help from Donald Trump? Even if she save one life, it's enough. It's good. Why don't they at least try something different? And as far as Father Fager, tell him the president shut. Maybe he should shut up. Because what policy has he done to solve this crime issue in Chicago? I mean, I don't like to throw negativity out there, but what has he done? I mean, I know he's good helping people, but the policies are not working. The Democratic policies are not working. People are dying. July 4th, watch. You're going to maybe 80 people are getting shot, 25 dead. What solution do you think to come up with?
Angel, here's what I've got a problem. You see, I think because you support Donald Trump, it's either Trump's way or everything else is not good. Trump knows how to handle crime in Chicago. Well, Trump doesn't know how to handle crime. Trump needs. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
The mayor's lost. Try something different.
I hear you. First off, and good call, Angel. I appreciate it. Good call. First off, Father Flager has been working in the trenches of the city of Chicago for a very long time, so he can talk about that, and then he can talk about Donald Trump anyway. This brother, Father Flager, has been there, done that. He's been a strong advocate. He has done he has done more than you can imagine a priest would ever do in terms of putting his blood, sweat, and tears out there for the community. So I think Father Flager can criticize Donald Trump all day long. Donald Trump doesn't have the integrity of a Father Michael Flager. He just doesn't. Donald Trump needs to worry about the crime syndicate that he's operating called the Trump Empire, and how they're stealing money out of the United States Treasury. See, you got violent crime, and then you have white-collar crime. See, we like to try to look at white-collar crime being like, well, that's okay. And violent crime, what are we going to do? All these people got shot and killed and da-da-da. I say this all the time. This ain't about politics. We got a behavior problem. Black people, we have a behavior problem. So as that crime pertains, number one, crime stats are down in Chicago, but nobody's going to give Mayor Johnson any credit for that. But when you grab a gun, when you wake up in the morning, you put a gun in your waistband, you decide you're going to walk out the house, that's on you. That's not on the mayor. That's not on President Trump. That's not on the governor. That's not on any politician. When somebody decides they're going to put a gun in their pocket and walk out the house and pull the trigger, that's a behavior problem. That's a big problem. Donald Trump is running a crime syndicate that's called the Trump Empire. And he's looting the United States Treasury. That's the crime he needs to worry about. I'm sorry, brother. Mark Carter. Mark, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, man, I just like y'all don't understand that this is a criminal country. Y'all got some against criminals in a criminal country.
I didn't say that. I didn't say I had anything.
No, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. I'm talking about the people in general. This is a criminal country ran by criminals. Obama was a criminal. Trump a criminal. That's why they have immunity, so they can do criminal stuff. But let me say this about Dr. Jeremiah Wright mean more to us, way more than Barack Obama. We don't care nothing about no white boy mixed with no African. The days of those people not calling a spade, are over. Our generation now is moving slowly into more and more power. And we're not going to allow what our parents allowed at the hands of people like Obama. He didn't do nothing when he was state senator. Then the U.S. Senate, then the president. And y'all was praising him no matter how much nothing he did for black folks. Y'all praising him. That's why none of them don't have to do nothing, because y'all gonna praise him anyway. You can't keep doing that. You know why, Matt? You know where you can't praise him? Huh?
Why?
Because kids die behind you praising these incompetent people.
Well, I agree with that.
We're the reason why the children are dying as men and women who are not standing on top of business when it comes to our people. Any other community, if this was happening in their community, they would be raising hell. But y'all get on these radios, and them pastors get in them pulpits, and these nonprofits get these dollars and things, and they look the other way. That's why I'm not mad at these kids doing them takeovers. I hope they drive y'all ass crazy. I hope they drive everybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was in my neighborhood the other day. And you know what I said? At first, I'm just looking. And then I said to myself, when you starve the people into savagery, what do you think they're going to do in response? What do you think they're going to do in response?
Right. I hear that.
You can't hold the kids accountable and not the adults.
Right. Well, no, I agree with that.
The city, one thing I got to say about this mayor is that he never allowed anybody to beat up on these children without talking about the overall problem. And I give props to him for doing that. You know what I mean? All these other people, they went along with Daley demonizing black children, as long as they got what they wanted. But those days are over now because we in here. And we don't care about calling out whoever. Barack Obama ain't special. Michelle ain't special either. None of them. We don't want to hear nothing from none of these black folks. Well, he ain't even black. That's a white man mixed with African. So you know what I mean? Man, we're not doing that stuff no more. Because we failing and losing.
All right, Mark Carter. Let's take a break here. I mean, look, President Obama, we can debate whether or not he did anything for black people, and there's a lot of evidence that he did, right? What we have to ask ourselves is, what do you expect a president to do for black people, right? I mean, I don't know if we have to have that debate, but I don't mind having it. Right? Because I think when you look at the Obama policies and you compare the Obama policies to the Reagan policies or anybody else, there's no comparison, right? All right, 2:30 WVON News coming up right now.
Hope you're having a marvelous Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. An annual anti-hate event in Evanston appears to have been successful once again. The Ricky Birdsong Race Against Hate took place yesterday in the North Suburb. It included a 5K and 10K course. Thousands of participants honored former Northwestern basketball coach Ricky Birdsong, who was gunned down by a white supremacist in 1999 in suburban Skokie. In other news, Mississippi is one of the most budget-friendly states for hospital deliveries. A new report from Fair Act and Fair Health puts the state second lowest in the country for both vaginal births and C-sections when private insurance is used. Analysis from the nonprofit health group tracked full delivery bills, not just the portion families may owe themselves. Alaska came in at the most expensive state for giving birth. In other news, legendary music executive Clive Davis has died at the age of 94, according to multiple reports. Davis was widely known for discovering and mentoring major artists, including Whitney Houston, Bruce Springsteen, and Alicia Keys. Over a career spanning decades, he helped shape modern pop and rock music through leadership roles at Columbia Records, Arista Records, and J Records. Reports say Davis died peacefully at his home in Manhattan following recent health issues. And House lawmakers announced a bipartisan agreement on the KIDS Act. After months of negotiations, the legislation aims to hold social media companies accountable for harms their platforms may cause to minors. An earlier version of the bill passed the House Energy and Commerce Committee in March before talks stalled between the parties. Committee Chairman Brett Guthrie and Congressman Frank Pallone said lawmakers found common ground on policies designed to improve online safety for children. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
When you play the 7-time Bingo Multiplier Instant Ticket from the Illinois Lottery, you play with purpose. Over $1.2 million has been raised to help support United Negro College Fund education scholarships in Illinois. Purchase one and help raise even more. Be smart. Play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONWealthShow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I came to party. Come on, Chaka Khan. If you came to party, I came to party. Come on.
All right, we're back with 591-1690. It's funny, during the commercial break, these guys were cutting the grass. You know, doing the show from home is a challenge at times because, you know, you got elements, man. You got, you know, cars going by. You got, you know, people cutting grass. I swear to sweet Jesus Almighty, we have got to have the cuttingest grasses people on this block. More than any, I mean, tomorrow they're going to be out here cutting grass. Wednesday, it's like every day somebody's out here. I'm trying to figure out if I think I'm going to call a block club meeting and be like, can we just have all of the grass cutters come on one day and cut? This is grass cutting day. I'm tired of hearing these damn machines every single freaking day. Am I losing my mind or what, y'all? Y'all tell me. I'm about to type that into Chat GPT. I think there's a grass cutting conspiracy going on my block, and I'm blaming Israel for it. I'm blaming Netanyahu. He's trying to drown my voice out. He's got the Mexicans cutting grass while I'm doing the show. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm losing my mind, man. My mind's playing tricks on me, homie. Help a brother. 591-1690. Matt, I might not agree with all of his policies, but I like and respect him, and that goes for our mayor as well. This fool we got in the White House, I do not agree with him, nor do I respect him. And let me say this about Mark. I know Mark's hard on everybody. Look, man, President Barack Obama did more for black people, poor people, the underclass than any president before him. That's just the bottom line. There's no joke about that. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I'm going to have Roland Burris come on, Senator Roland Burris come on one day, because he explains it very, very well. He was a senator during the Obama years, during some of them. And he explained it. I had him on years ago, and he explained it very, very well. Very well. I mean, nobody agrees with everything that a president does, no matter who the president is. We don't agree on everything that Barack Obama did, but President Obama did a lot that had an eye on Black America, the underclass, the underserved, the oppressed people in this country than any president before him or any president after him. And I think Biden probably did a decent job as well. Trump is just a charlatan. He's a businessman that's president of the United States, and he's going to look out for the business community. That's the bottom line. Donald Trump pays attention every morning when he wakes up. He's probably looking at the stock market, looking at gas prices, and then he moves on with the rest of his life. This is the bottom line, y'all. Bottom line. Let's go back to the phone lines. Callan, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Manny. Matt, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing good, brother.
I think President Barack Obama threw Jeremiah right under the bus because he was running for president in 2008, and the other candidates like Hillary Clinton and them could use that against him during the campaign. What he said, "God damn America," they could have used that in the campaign against him. With it, and the Republican nominee would have used that against him. And President 2008, they would use the same thing. And you didn't know there's a picture of Farrakhan and Barack Obama together. Do you know that?
I'm sure there is, man. I mean, I think, look, Barack Obama does not have a problem with Black Power or I forget what they call a Black Prosperity Ministry, which is what Reverend Wright does. And good call, Callan. I appreciate that call, man. Very a good point there. Yeah, I'm sure. I think I've seen the picture of Barack Obama and Mr. Farrakhan together. But Mr. Farrakhan is a third rail when it comes to politics, right? Because we've allowed white America to tell the world that, right? That's why you see Black politicians dance around Mr. Farrakhan. They respect and appreciate and know that Mr. Farrakhan has done a lot for Black America, but they will not talk about it on the campaign trail because they know it's the third rail. They know that it's going to be used against them. And that's why I have a problem with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary was ready to use whatever she could use against Barack, including Black liberation and Black prosperity, if she had to. She was ready to do that. I mean, do I think Hillary is a politician that would politic in the best interest of Black America more so than a Republican politician? Yes. Do I think her global politics matches what I would like for a president when it comes to like what she did to Muammar Gaddafi? I think Hillary is probably lined up more like a Zionist and is more super pro-Israel than we need to be. Benjamin Netanyahu has been the worst thing to ever happen to Israel. He just has been, man. He has been absolutely the worst thing. He has turned more people against Israel than necessary, right? And then what all Benjamin Netanyahu has done in these last several years is brought attention to what he had been doing for the previous 20 years. Now people are going back in history and they're looking at his comments, they're looking at his positions, they're looking at what the United States of America did on behalf of Israel, and now we're able to criticize that with a fresh set of eyes and a different perspective, thanks to this dude being over the top and being greedy. That's just the reality of it. Willie, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind? Willie or Wiley? All right, Douglas, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, I think you might be losing your mind, sir. You got a whole lot of moving parts of this. A lot of moving parts of this conversation. But
All right.
to speak about Reverend Wright, Reverend Wright is a true kingmaker. Okay, I will sacrifice or let you go ahead on and put me on the chopping block just for the greater good or for the cause. And that all in of itself needs to be commended. Now, some of the other moving parts you have is all we are looking at right now with the orange man in office is Ronald Reagan 2.0. And when you get to talking about the gun violence that happened in Chicago over the weekend, that's nothing more than collateral fallout from the 1980s when all them guns and all the drugs were able to infiltrate our communities, and it's been a bloodbath since. But to think that any one person, especially that orange clown in D.C., can stop the gun violence on the south side and the west side is asinine. All right. That was something that a blowhard would say to kind of feed his ego and to say, see, these darkies can't even police themselves. It's going to take me, the great orange trumpeter, to come and save them from themselves. But this is a great show, man. Glad I can tune in and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. Like I said, I think, the violence is something we got to address, and we got to figure out how we're going to address that if we're serious as Black Americans. Mike, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Hey, Matt, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Look, I get sick of criticism of Barack Obama, and his presidency. How unsophisticated, how ignorant do you have to be, to know that the brother couldn't do everything, and certain things had he done and said, I'm doing it for Black folks, he would have been done. Reverend Wright had no problem with what Barack did. He understood it. And, the thing is, one thing that you are absolutely right. We've got some behavioral problems in our community. There's no other way to explain it. All the excuses we come up with doesn't change the fact that this is our damn responsibility. These are our wayward kids. Get out there and grab these kids and do what you need to do with them. Change your ways, because obviously a lot of these adults are bad examples for them. But the thing is, something that my brother always said, if Barack Obama told Black folks to come down to State in Madison, I'm going to give you each $100,000, Negroes would be complaining about, why can't he bring it to my house? Because never be satisfied.
All right. We gotta consolidate, bring our thoughts together. We're in a moment right now, man, where Black power is being challenged on every level. Black culture, Black history, our behavior matters. And even though we are probably being encouraged to not think that behavior matters right now, Black on Black crime, the violence that we see in the city of Chicago that's happening, we can sit up and point fingers at the mayor if we want to, or anybody else. I don't blame Donald Trump for the violence that's going on in our community, right? I always bring that back to us. We're in charge of our behavior. We're in charge of our community. and our communities. You know, we've got a behavior problem, right? And until we figure that out, dude, we're gonna be hurting y'all. 591-1690. Our final break on the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ansel Johnson, Clinical Director at Vision Salon Eye Care Associates. Good vision isn't a luxury. It's essential to everything that you do, from digital devices, driving, reading, even watching your grandchildren grow. Our team brings over 50 years of combined experience and treats every patient like family. We carry a variety of eyewear, including some African American collections that fit you, your prescription, and let you express your true style. And if you're living with diabetes, glaucoma, or hypertension, our expert care can help you protect your vision for the years ahead. Don't wait. Call or text 708-385-0013. Again, 708-385-0013 for an appointment, or visit visionsalon.com today. Be well, see well, and be blessed.
Don't take your vision for granted. Optometrist Dr. Ansel Johnson and Vision Salon can see what you can't. For eye care and eyewear, visit visionsalon.com.
It's D.L. Hughley.
If it weren't for the Black Panthers, American children wouldn't have free breakfast. Now, I don't know many groups that are only bad that feed children. The Klan only gave us burning cross. I guess you could warm your breakfast up on one.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Get discouraged if it takes too long. Common sense will tell you right from wrong.
All right. We are back. You know, again, I just got off the phone talking to my buddy, and he's saying, "Hey, man, look, we have an all-time low right now with the crime rate." I was like, "Yeah, man, I mentioned that we want to overlook the fact that crime is down, and if we have a black mayor who believes in intervention and programs and providing jobs this summer, man, the summer job program that's going on." Again, man, is impressive, man, to meet these kids where they are. But see, we'll look at the teen takeovers and think, oh my God, man. Last night, I was at a retirement party for my brother Outlaw. And we were Greg Outlaw. If y'all know Outlaw, went to Tennessee State. And I was sitting at a bar talking to a white guy who moved here from Oklahoma, and he was talking about how much he loves Chicago, and it's great. And you know what he said to me, and I could assume that this guy might be a Republican from Oklahoma. And we were talking, and he was saying, like, yeah, you know, they'll scare you about Chicago and tell you how violent it is and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I don't see none of that. None of that's true. This city is great. And I've been here and I love it. And he was with a friend. He's trying to talk into moving up here. And so we'll continue to be victimized by this characterization because, see, you got a president who doesn't like the mayor, number one. You got a Republican Party that doesn't like the mayor. All of that is a factor in here. All right. We're celebrating Shaka Khan. Let's go to JB. JB, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call. And I just want to piggyback on the brother was saying about the president don't like the mayor. And I believe, this is my opinion, that his hand is probably with them white boys that's doing this killing in Chicago. They say 2 men drive up there and just shoot up the place. You know, I don't just believe that that's blacks killing each other. And another thing I'm going to say, Obama was a great president. Mayor Brandon, I love him. And I'm not going to let that media sabotage his race. Because if that lady gets in there, it's all over, and the Mexicans is going to take charge. And we're going to just forget it. We can forget it. So y'all better vote for that man, and I ain't going to vote for nobody that don't love me. I love my black people. Have a great day. Absolutely.
All right. That was JB. Man, let me tell you this. Black, good call, JB. Black people are not feeling Mendoza, man. I am like, oh my, I didn't realize that there was this negativity out there from Black Chicago about her. Because I was texting her trying to get her to come on my show when she announced, but Rufus had got her. And so I was like, all right, well, it's cool. You know, she's coming on WVON. But man, I saw the response to her coming on Rufus' show. Oh, by the way, I think Rufus has, is it tomorrow, Matty Rash? I think Rufus has the governor coming on, J.B. Pritzker.
Yes, sir. He's coming in studio tomorrow.
He's coming in the studio tomorrow. So Governor Pritzker's coming on with Rufus tomorrow morning. You guys know he's looking to run for president of the United States. I saw the governor. When did I see the governor? I just saw him recently. And it was funny because we walked past each other in the hallway, and he was like, hey, what's that? Hey, how you doing? You know, and his person with him said, that's Matt from there. He's like, yeah, I know Matt, yeah. I got to come on your show. And I was saying to myself, oh, Lord, he's cool, though, man. I tell you, Governor Pritzker is at his best when he is criticizing Donald Trump. So I think, you know, he could be an amazing president. Because I think Donald Trump and what this Trump administration has done probably brings the best out of Pritzker. Probably ignites that energy. You know, look, Chicago, Illinois, you got to play Illinois politics. And he's probably, you know, been guilty of playing Illinois politics. There's no question about it. We'd like to see more. I think the cannabis thing bothers me a little bit. No doubt about it. The, you know, going after Robin Kelly when she was the chair of the state's Democratic Party absolutely bothered me. No doubt about it. But when he goes after Donald Trump, I'm absolutely proud of him, how he does it, the way he does it, the way he doesn't back down. And, you know, he hasn't been a terrible governor, but like for me as a black person in the state of Illinois, I want to see more. You know, here's what I'm doing for the black economy and trying to impact black people and trying to make sure that black people are on a trajectory, a better trajectory than they were before I took office. That's how you've got to measure politicians, guys. As black people, we got to like, hey, are we on a better pathway than we were before you took office? And I think Pritzker has a unique position in being able to do that because he can finance his own campaign. So he doesn't have to dance to the beat of a different drummer, if you know what I mean. He can be J.B. Pritzker and do what he wants to do. And I feel like there's a possibility people can be a better president. All right, Shaka Khan, Matty Ice, you can play this. I'm going to talk about our artist of the day today, right? You've been listening to her music, and you can play that cut, my brother. Here we go. Y'all remember this one? What a way to end it. Born Yvette Marie Stevens on March 23rd, 1953, right here in Chicago. Shaka Khan is one of the most influential singers in R&B, soul, funk, and pop music. She grew up in Chicago, South Side, became involved in the music at a young age. During the late 1960s, she was active in Chicago's music scene before joining the group Rufus in the early 1970s. Her rise to fame when Rufus Shaka Khan became a star through hits such as Tell Me Something Good, which is a song that Stevie Wonder wrote for. I don't know if you guys knew that at all. Sweet Thing, as we heard, and Ain't Nobody. Oh, we didn't play Ain't Nobody. Ain't Nobody. Oh, yeah. Her powerful voice earned her the nickname Queen of Funk. In her solo career, Khan launched a successful solo career in 1978 with I'm Every Woman, Through the Fire, I Feel For You, a Grammy-winning hit written by Prince. So she's had some amazing writers along the way. 10-time Grammy Award winner. Wow. Did you know that about Shaka Khan? 10-time Grammy Award winner, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Rufus in 2023. She has sold an estimated 70 million records worldwide. Khan has always maintained strong ties to Chicago and has been active in charitable and educational initiatives. She has often spoken proudly about growing up on the South Side and the influence Chicago's music culture had on her career. Shaka Khan is widely regarded as one of the greatest vocalists in modern music. Her influence can be heard in generations of artists, including Mary J. Blige, Whitney Houston, Beyonce, and others. One of her most famous quotes is I'm Every Woman, a title that became both a hit song and a defining statement of her career. Born Yvette Marie Stevens, we all know her as Shaka Khan, brother. I remember Mia and I went to see her out in Grant Park as she was performing. And it was just a great moment for us. Anytime you can see this sister, her story is absolutely amazing, man. To come from the South Side of Chicago and rise to the top. Shaka Khan, everybody. That's all I got for you. Listen to a little more Shaka as we go out. Don't go anywhere. Tiba and LaDonna coming up next.
Happy Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Black Girl Wellness Fest coming to Chicago this weekend. Memorial service held for late legislator Barbara Flynn Curry. Vance returns after initial U.S.-Iran talks in Switzerland. And BET Awards 2026 reveal first wave of performers and special guests. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are underway in Switzerland, with Vice President J.D. Vance leading negotiations on a plan to end the conflict within 60 days.
We made a lot of good progress. We did exactly what we wanted to do.
Key sticking points include Iran's nuclear program and sanctions relief as tensions persist over the disputed status of the Strait of Hormuz. A California mother is suing a school district claiming her two Black sons endured severe racial harassment without proper intervention. The civil rights lawsuit alleges the children suffered emotional harm, PTSD, and accuses the district of neglecting to provide culturally competent counseling, training for staff, and proper disciplinary measures. And Beyonce is offering fans an intimate look at Jay-Z's transformation, sharing a video of him combing out his signature dreadlocks after 8 years. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Andrea Coleman.
Police are still investigating and no arrests have been made so far after at least 13 people were injured in a drive-by shooting on Chicago's South Side late Friday night. This man says he was on his front porch when he heard the shots ring out.
I was a little scared, but, while you hear the shots, you just run and duck and hide. So that's all I did.
Responding to the violence, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is Black, said his administration is working overtime to get illegal guns off the streets. Friday's shooting was just one of several instances of gun violence across the Windy City over the weekend. In all, authorities say at least 33 people were shot, and of those, 6 died. A new poll shows most Americans are skeptical regarding the Trump administration's memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran. The CBS News YouGov poll found 57% of Americans say the conflict with Iran caused more problems than it solved, compared to 21% of respondents who said the conflict solved more problems than it created. Yet another 21% are saying the conflict neither solved nor created more problems. When appearing on NBC News yesterday, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker also had